Polly and I first, well, actually, the first time I ever saw Polly was on Galveston Island, spring break. And I was there with a bunch of my fraternity brothers. We rented a bus and a barrel of beer and went to Galveston for the spring break. And I saw her in a restaurant, and I'd never seen her on the campus before. So I asked somebody, who is she? And they told me. So when I came back, I looked her up, and we had our first date, which was, so that was our junior year in college. When we graduated, we both went to Houston, and I tried teaching school, and she's an accountant, so she became a CPA. Very talented woman, extremely bright, never made a B in any course in her whole life, very high IQ. Artist, talented, designed clothes. She was a great colonel's wife. We had been married 60 years, and we had had a good life. We'd lived in Europe 10 years. We'd traveled all over the world. She had been to 64 countries, and I'd done 68. So there were so many wonderful memories, but they were fading.
So we have a bit of a unique family, and my grandmother did a lot of helping and raised me. So she really was like a mother figure to me. And so I also very firsthand saw the decline over the years. And after a while, it just got really hard to see my grandfather struggling so much because he wasn't taking care of himself first and foremost.
I noticed, like her mother, that she started having memory problems in her mid-50s. Her mother and her grandmother had the same thing. We didn't discuss it. I didn't think that would be good for her, but it got worse and worse. Eventually, after 20 years of watching this happen, my children said, you have to do something about this because it was really wearing me down. I was getting exhausted, and she was difficult, and she played free cell all day and did nothing else. We had a couple of incidents. She put a red blanket over a space heater twice in 1 hour after being said, don't do that. I had some knowledge of MorningStar because my neighbor across the street, she told me all about this place. Although I live in a senior village that has memory care, I started vetting this company, this place, a year before we made the decision. And I brought her over several times. She was invited to come do artwork and stuff with the people. And I think she always knew in the back of her mind that she was going to come here.
She just needed a little bit more than any of us could give her care-wise at that point, and so I really did think it was the best move for everyone at that point in time, and so I pushed him a bit to do it, but I think it was the right time and a good choice.
So when we finally did it, it was totally the worst thing in my life. I couldn't sleep. I felt like I was being selfish. I had all these things. But when I came over here and visited and talked to the staff, they recognized what I was going through because they'd seen it so many times and they're professionals. And they helped us through that. After the decision was made, we had about 6 weeks before we planned to do it. I had been here enough to know that they are so kind to all of the residents. So I felt that this was the right place. I only looked at one other place after I came here. For one thing, the surroundings were beautiful. Polly loves beautiful things. So I knew that she would like it here.
Before she moved in here, a lot of the staff, most of them sat down with my grandfather for hours and went through questions like, what does she like to eat? What does she not like to eat? What's her favorite dessert? What does she like to do for fun? All these kinds of things. And I really liked that they were trying to get like a picture of her as a whole person before she moved in instead of a patient.
You know, we really work in who they are as a person into their person-centered care here.
It's individualized for sure, but it's also a structured environment, which provides the routine that people do need for important things like, you know, eating, getting dressed, doing important life things. But we also have fun things built into it that work well with those things to make sure that people are out of their rooms, are social if they want to be, and are able to talk to people as much as possible. We are a luxury community. You know, when people are coming here, of course, they want to be, you know, treated as you would at a nice hotel, for example. People come here to relax. They come here to be able to unwind. I know that's kind of strange to say, but we're really trying to provide that service. And while that's happening, we're checking in on those other factors that are important, like medication, like their physical well-being. I think a lot of family members feel a lot of guilt about placing their loved one in a community such as this, but that guilt really dissipates after the first couple of days here even, because their loved ones start to have a routine that's structured and that helps them to be healthy physically, mentally, you know, all these different ways. And the sense of security and peace from the family members is often really vocal. You can really, they come and they say, "This is wonderful."
Sometimes we feel guilty and we feel like we may just be, you know, moving the problem elsewhere, you know, so we can feel better. But just seeing how much she has flourished here, it's not true. It really was the best choice for everyone because we are having the time and space to be the best caregiver we can be for her, and there are people to take over when we're not able to and we need a break. I think a really cool part about MorningStar is like you're adding like another pillar of support, and so they will help you, they will help, you know, your loved one who's living here, and it's really great.
She's getting better care than I could give her. She really is.